G'day guys, I didn't see you there. I hear you've come to have a look around our storeroom at Leopold Primary School. Do you want to go in and have a look? Come on, follow me. G'day and welcome to our storeroom. Our first tip is to draw up a blueprint of your storeroom. Know where everything's going to be set out. Our second tip, go down to Kmart and get as many plastic tubs as you can. A third tip, look around your school for any unused storage you can use in your storeroom. Fourth tip, who is going to help you keep your storeroom clean? Fifth, and this is probably the critical one, who has access? Limit who has access to your storeroom. Number 6, develop expectations and rules of those that are going to use your storeroom. Number 7, hibernation. Put some of your equipment you don't use all the time to sleep for a period. Class materials is now number 8. Set them out, get them set up in a good spot. And our last one, protect your body. Put things on wheels and don't lift anything too heavy. I think what's really important right now that I give you a 360-degree view of what this storeroom looks like. And then we can unpack it bit by bit. It has been reconstructed quite a number of times to suit the different needs of our curriculum. So let's start with the curriculum essentials. This area here is what I refer to as my week-to-week work. It directly leads in from the storeroom, but it's basically built with all the things that we need. As you can see, everything is sort of set up in a tub, so it's easily to manage straight on and off the shelf. For instance, in this ball here, in this box here, we have our little balls with our cones, which we've been using for our striking with our bats. So they're quite easy to be able to access, especially if we're out teaching and we need our kids to be able to come in and grab what's next for us if we haven't been well prepared. Up on top, we've been able to resource different items to be able to get kids thinking about standing side on, as well as empty tubs, because these tubs are brilliant because the kids are able to pick them up and move them around. What else you can see on here is down below we have a couple of tubs which are a little bit larger. These are my beanbag tubs, but I've placed them on wheels, which is just an old scooter board, because it's too heavy for kids to hold and carry. So if we're cleaning up, we've got to use the kids that are in our classrooms to help us out with, and so they're able to tow this resource along, which is really, it's the key essential to actually building great kids and great helpers. Our hoops on the wall, really easy to be able to use to grab in and out. But basically, I use this section to help stock what I'm using in that particular week or a unit of work. So it's there, it's put in specific tubs ready to be able to take out. Now the ice cream station is where we refer to that we get our cones. Haha, dad joke. But again, having them all in one place gives the kids a chance to be able to come and grab them when we need them, and different cones have different purposes. The cone that is on my head here is not actually a hat, but it actually comes from the great sport of cricket, but it has so many different purposes in that it can actually mark a relay line. It can sit on top of a chair and use for a ball to be able to use for forehand strike, you know, the younger ages where we're hitting a stationary ball. We're also able to use them upside down as a catching element because they're so flexible enough that kids can actually expand their hands. So having an ice cream station, key to be able to get kids to be able to come in and select what they need. What we have here is we have the Great Wall of PhysEd. This is the essentials. This is everything that we need to be able to build our curriculum, but we might not be using at one time or another. Having them set out in plastic tubs allows us to be able to put them either in purposeful, same versus same equipment. So for instance, say all the hooky rings and all the frisbees, or we can actually set them out into concepts and themes. So you might have an invasion tub, you might have a striking and fielding tub, you might have a throwing and catching tub. So again, you can grab the equipment, but you can actually hand that to a classroom teacher so they can go and access that equipment really well. What I really love is down below, being able to have that storage for our inter-school sports section, which leads me to our next little area. Again, making use of the bag hooks coming out from an old classroom, we're able to set this up so we have an inter-school sports section. We have our basketballs in our tubs, kids can wheel out straight away. We have our balls in the large sports bags, so the kids can grab the entire equipment and take that out. It saves them going through your essentials and then leaving them all over the floor, and we know what that's like. This section over here, I call for another season. It's where we actually place our inter-school sport or our larger items, like our hot shots bags, like our golf gear, or our cross-country gear right here, that we're not using in season currently. So it goes away and it just stays in a different place in the storeroom. It allows it to be tucked away and pushed into a different zone. Oh, while I'm here, I'll show you something really cool. So this is an old table that I took the tabletop off, but now we've created a nice target out of it. And these targets allow us to use them in so many different ways in physical education. I don't need to explain that because I know you guys are already thinking about what you're going to do, taking the tabletops off the classroom tables. This area I call the jungle, and we've got to be careful because every now and then a snake might pop out, a big giant lizard, or maybe even a crocodile. But in these cupboards, again, coming out from a classroom, I am a bit of a hoarder when it comes for all, grabbing different equipment. But in these cupboards, I'm able to keep all my bags for different team events. So in here, I've got my athletics gear right down to cross-country gear down the bottom. In this cupboard here, I have all our team uniforms for athletics. In these cupboards here, we have our hockey sticks and our lacrosse sticks to be able to use. Then up the top, we have different equipment which we don't want the kids being able to get their hands on, or equipment we haven't blown up or used yet. This is a really good part of my room as well. This is where I sort of keep, at the moment, my skateboards. I've loaned my skateboards and my scooters off to another school, but normally I'll have 30 skateboards here, with our helmets also, and we're getting a collection of 30 scooters as well, to be able to have into our extreme sports units. So this part is a really good idea. Our final part of our storeroom comes to the old volleyball net. Using the volleyball net strung up to hold the Swiss balls keeps those dreaded Swiss balls from being kicked around the storeroom left, right and centre. So that's kind of it, guys. As phys ed teachers, we're always going somewhere and we've always got somewhere to be. So I've got to be somewhere now. I'm going to check in with you later. If I see you at the conference mid-year, love to be able to chat to you. See you guys. So here we are, we're at Grovedale Primary School, and they've got actually quite a large room. You can see where the crash mat already is on top of the benches. A lot of pigeonholes for all the specialised equipment. As the PE teacher here said, he likes to try and keep it a little bit more organised, but when lots of people are involved in sport at some point, it does tend to get a little bit messy. But it's just good seeing the variety of equipment plus how it is all sorted out. But it wraps right around when we come up to the other side as well. The wheelie bins. And this was the one where we got a little bit of blackboard paint, putting learning intents on those wheelie bins as well. So that's our latest school. Here we are at Roslyn Primary School. This is their sports shed. So we'll take you into this one. This is non-powered, no lights. So at night time, or dark winters, there might not be a lot. So it's in the old school, all-purpose, all-weather sheds, which has been refurbished into an equipment storage. As you can see, a lot of stuff packed into small spaces. There we are.
Hi, I'm Andy here. If you like what you saw, why don't you watch more? You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel by just clicking the logo.